Yo, once again, Capital X coming to you from the front lines. Just kind of going over, the whole campaign for Jeff Wood, and the victory that we claimed yesterday. You know what I'm saying, by getting a stay of execution. And again, I gotta say, it's a great feeling. It really is. I mean, fighting against the death penalty is difficult. It's just really sensitive because, I mean, you have the victims and their family members, and like, we always keep them in mind. But with me personally, I just can't stress enough, what it's like to meet a prisoner's family. You know what I'm saying? A family that's about to lose someone. I mean, a violent crime committed, yes, it's a devastating blow, but at the same time, it's just, to me, there's no other way to put it, but it is cruel and unusual to, to know that your child is about to be executed, about to be killed. I mean, it's a long, drawn-out process because, I mean, you have, the years, leading up to, with all the appeals leading up to the execution, and then when it gets down to the final stages, I mean, preparing for your child's death, and getting an inside, look at that has been just emotionally draining. I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity. I mean, here you are trying to, hold yourself up, be there for family members, be there for your loved one who has been locked up in a cage for, however long, a decade in Jeff Wood's case, over a decade. You're trying to be strong for, your loved one, but behind the scenes you're, making funeral arrangements, and it's just crazy. It's just plain crazy. So, fighting for the abolition of the death penalty, yeah, it's really tough. It's hard not to become emotionally involved. You kind of try to stay detached, but it's hard because you're talking about a human being here. And I mean, a lot of pro-death penalty people, seem as though they can't get past, the crime itself. I mean, in the media, the prisoners are portrayed as monsters. They're portrayed as the worst of the worst. But when you personally get involved and you're talking to these individuals, and you see how, yeah, they made a mistake. They could have been a confused individual or mentally ill, individual. Without question, once you get involved, you understand that the death penalty is wrong. You're gonna kill a human being. A lot of them are really, truly sorry. And, being against the death penalty, I'm not saying that one, shouldn't pay for, their crime. There has to be punishment. There has to be some kind of payment. But at the same time, it's just death. How does one learn from death? How does one learn from death? They say that it's a deterrent, but if it was a deterrent, we wouldn't have the murder rates that we have in this country. So it's definitely not a deterrent. And I mean, being at one time I was in a criminal element, I've lived on the streets and all that. I mean, you just don't think about, repercussions in the heat of a moment. You get approached by someone on the street, and it just, it escalates into something. I mean, you don't have time to stop and think. You just react. And a lot of individuals end up in situations like that, or in Jeff's case, just, you get involved with the wrong individuals that take it upon themselves to commit a crime, and just because you're in the vicinity, you fall victim as well. So it's really tough. And dealing with, the negative reactions from, pro-death penalty, advocates. I mean, I received death threats. I've never ever seen anyone that fights against the death penalty threaten anybody, you know, with their opinion, or, you know, no matter how strong they felt. But, you know, I actually receive a lot of death threats, and it's insane. I was like, I'm standing up fighting for life, and you know, to preserve, you know, life. You know, I just want to, you know, value human life. That's what I do. I value human life regardless. You know, I think that, you know, we should focus more on love and forgiveness. You know, and you know, life without parole or life in prison is definitely, you know, a just sentence.